Well, Noah, thank you very much for that introduction and starting off the call. I appreciate it. And folks, I just want to thank all of you out there for giving you a few minutes here so that you can hear about this amazing opportunity called Smash Fund. And I could not be more proud of my son Noah. You heard him in the intro. He's 19 years old, and he's building an enormous group of connections that are going to pay him quite handsomely. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. First of all, let me start by saying how I found out about this call is through a friend of mine, Lauren Midag, and he's a very successful physical therapist. He has 5 orthopedic sports clinics in Southern California. He's also very good friends with Rob Toole, who is the founder and CEO of Smash Fund. They've had some business ventures together outside of his physical therapy, obviously, and they've done very well together. About 5 or 6 years ago, Rob went ahead and started a company on his own, and it was in the gaming industry, small games like Candy Crush and other games like Bingo. He had a couple of bingo games that actually went very crazy. They went viral. In the tune of 4 million users on this game in less than a year and a half to 2 years. That was a very successful run. It was very successful at drawing the right crowd into a network, and he was able to actually sell that business only 3 years after he started it to Caesars Interactive in Vegas for $115 million. So needless to say, Rob retired and was very, very excited about that opportunity, obviously he did it very successfully. He then was in retirement and was one day reading an article in Forbes magazine. The article was about crowdfunding, and as they wrote this article, they discussed the success of that industry. It's just mind-boggling how quickly that has grown. It's a $30 billion industry last year. This year they're expected to be $50 to $60 billion. Within a year to 2 years, we're looking at about $100 billion industry. So he was reading about that, and what the article said was whoever could figure out a way to commingle social media very tightly with crowdfunding was basically going to go to the moon and back financially. So it was going to be really a home run if anybody could figure out how to do that. Well, Rob, knowing he had already done that in the gaming industry, figured he could do it again. He said, I'm that guy. And so he went ahead and started researching it. He pulled together a team of attorneys, in fact, the same attorney group that helped complete and start Facebook are the same attorneys that we're using out of the Los Angeles branch. Then we have another set of attorneys that were all for crowdfunding and organizing that, making sure all of that is done properly, and a set of attorneys that were designated just for FTC compliance. So we've really covered our bases with all of this to make sure this is legal in every state, and we're very excited about how that has all come together. He also put a task force together of IT guys and reassembled the whole team that had helped him in the past and was really moving forward in this venture. He also ran a pilot program to test it, to make sure that things were working right, to make sure what changes he was going to make this thing a success in a specific industry like social media and like crowdfunding. So he was able to do that over the last year or so and planned on opening this sometime this summer, and that's what's going to happen. We are in what we call a pre-launch or pre-boarding phase. We are boarding a social media. So let me explain to you these two industries and what they mean and how they merge. We're talking about social media, which really doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. Most of you on this call are probably on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, one of those, or many more. I'm assuming you know what that means, and you can partake in that whole group of people that you're commingling with on a social level, and that's what social media is all about. So we are creating one that would be similar to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, some of you may or may not know, obviously you can get in for free on most of these, but LinkedIn has a $50 premium membership and then a $99 to $120 business premium membership. So that obviously you're paying every month because there's more benefit there. So they are doing this on a continual basis. We're going to raise the bar on our social media a little bit higher. We're not going to have a free entry. We're going to have a subscription-based only, which is going to change the caliber of people. It's going to raise the bar a little bit, and it's $149 per month to participate in what I'm calling the country club of all social media and crowdfunding. So it's going to be really a version of LinkedIn, but it's going to add a revenue share to it. And what is revenue share? Well, there's a lot of big companies out there such as Uber, Groupon, the Razor Club, that sort of thing. Those companies are all using, there's a new business model out there. It's called revenue share. Uber has disrupted the taxi industry. And you know what? They still are not held under the laws of taxi drivers and whatever all that may be, because they're not a taxi service. They are an app company. And they've done this with revenue share and an app. And so, very interesting. But what they do is they take 80% of the revenues and they pay it out to who? The drivers. That's what Uber does. What we're going to do in Smash Fund is take 80% of the revenues and we're going to pass that down to the drivers of this network, meaning those of you on this phone that are going to be pre-boarding into this social media right now, we're boarding into this and we're going to be able to create something out of nothing. And that's an exciting place to be. There's really a first mover advantage that's available to you by partaking and capturing onto this vision. Then that's what this is. This is a vision and the functionality space that you're going to be able to see everything in its completion in about 2 months. But the pre-boarding phase starts now, and I invite you to partake in that. That's what we're talking about here today. So let me talk about the other side of this. We've got crowdfunding. Some of you may or may not understand what that is, but it is a large industry. Right now, there's over 1,200 companies that are actually doing crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding is, if you've ever been on social media and you've seen things like Kickstarter or GoFundMe accounts, that people are raising money for a passion that they have, or somebody that might need a lot of help, tragedy in somebody's family that we want to be able to give to. People are givers, and people definitely are partaking in this. And those companies are great companies. However, there's a lot of there's some issues with that industry. Right now, the statistics are saying that 89% of the people that put up a campaign that they needed funded, they don't make their goal. Why don't they make their goal? Well, I'm certainly not an expert at this, but I will tell you part of the reason is they don't know how to market. They don't know how to sell themselves. They don't know how to sell their dream. They don't know how to sell their story. And quite frankly, even if they did, who are they selling it to? Well, they're selling it to their peers and their friends. And you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. And if you look at the pocketbook size of the person next to you, it might mirror what yours looks like. So we all know that, sometimes that's not the best person to pitch to. So what we're going to have is, again, like I told you, with social media, that's a country club effect, right? Meaning it's going to have a lot of entrepreneurs, spirited people. It's going to have a bent towards crowdfunding because that's what we're here for, right? That's part of what we're here for. And so you're going to get a different caliber of people that will understand your passion a little bit more and will be willing to actually even participate in helping you put that out on all social medias and maybe even fund you as well because of the income that we're able to receive from the revenue share. So it's going to change the face of crowdfunding. Like I said, the statistic is that 89% of the people fail. We want to change that. So I just want you to think about this. If we're all receiving revenue, think about the group that we're creating. I have a friend, his name is Josh, and he's a bodybuilder and a young 22-year-old kid. He trains a lot of people. He wants to start a gym, and he needs $10,000. He wants to put a fund out there for that. Now, what if I go out there and I say, you know what, guys? Hey, Noah, hey, Tony, hey, Joanna, hey, Tom, you know what? You're all part of this crowdfunding venture here. We're a part of Smash Fund. Why don't we go all bless Josh this week and get him to succeed? In fact, we're going to call everybody in our network, and we're going to put it out on Facebook, on Twitter, and get recognition to Smash Fund through that as well. And then we're going to fund him and say, this week, that's our project. What if he raises that $10,000 in a week? What do you think he's going to do? What is he going to do? He's going to tell his whole world. And that story is going to be duplicated and replicated throughout the world, which is why Smash Fund is going to become known as the largest player. And we're going to take that that failure rate of 89% and flip it to 89% success rate. That is what we're excited about. Now, I just really want you to envision that tonight when you get off the call, what that could be like when all of these people are coming away with their campaign funded. And some of them are going to self-fund it and forget the entitlement mentality. They're going to create their own network, and the company is going to pay them to do that. So let me explain how that pay and that compensation works, all right? Basically, it's very simple. We have all invited people to our networks, like whether it's Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, any of those, right? We all have a friend group, right? So you're going to do the same thing. You're just simply going to send your private invitation code to a friend and let them come in and see what this is all about. And when they decide to become a member, the company's going to pay you $50. So for every connection, you're going to get paid $50. Think about that. All right. So if you're worried about paying your $149 a month, well, if you simply share this with 3 people, yours is paid for. So it becomes pretty simple. What we're going to do from there is, obviously, the people that you show this to are going to do the same thing you did, and they're going to share it with a few people. And the people next to you are going to share it with people, right? And then all of a sudden you have these viral connections, we call them, that are going to kind of just end up in your friend group. And the company's going to pay you $4 on every viral connection that stems off of you. It's this social graph. That's what they call it in social media. It's a social graph. And because we're paying, we have to have a graph that is structured so that we know who gets the money. It's very simple. So what we're excited about is the fact that we've got this social graph building, and they're going to pay you $4. And you're thinking, well, how many can they pay on that and still be a solvent company? Well, the answer to that is, you have to, like what I told you when Rob did his gaming thing, he had 4 million users. I'll be honest with you. If I get 4 million people in my tribe or in my network, right, in my friend group, they can't really afford to pay Pat Cloonan $4 times 4 million people. But what they did do is they have a very sophisticated algorithm and social graph and mathematics that actually has figured out that they can pay you up to 16,000 connections. So that's not bad. If you multiply 16,000 connections times $4, that's a $64,000 a month income to you. And I will tell you, if that's not quite enough, you can start another profile and do it again. Or you can have your spouse do it again with you. So it's going to be very exciting to see how that all unfolds. Let me put it to you a different way. On Facebook, I have about 2,200 friends, plus or minus. Okay. Now, what if Facebook called me up and said, "Hey, Patrick, we're gonna raise the bar here a little bit. You got to pay a subscription now of $149. I mean, I don't know if I want to do that. But they say, well, don't be alarmed by that, because here's what we're going to do. All those people over the last 5, 6, 7 years that you've been inviting to this platform, we're going to pay you $50 on everybody you've personally told. And we've been tracking that, Pat. And you know what? And actually, those have turned into over 2,200. We'll pay you $4 on all those people as well. So think about that. My 2,200 people could pay me easily $8,400 just in $4 bills. Right now, if Facebook decided to wake up and share some of their revenue, obviously you all know where their revenue is coming from, advertising. Guess what? We're going to attract those same advertisers onto our platform, and Rob has said that he is also going to share the revenue from the advertisers. I mean, can you even imagine what that is going to do when the word gets out about that? And when we start this in about 2 months, sometime beginning of July is what I'm anticipating, we're going to have that exact date given to you within a week, and we're going to know that we have X amount of days, 60 days, to start boarding all of our friends and say, listen, man, get on this ship. And we're not going to ding your credit card until the day we open. That's really cool, because then you have 2 months to just get people involved and let them see this, and then know that they're going to run that credit card on that 60th day. And can you imagine the checks that are going to be spilling out from the company on day one? Now think about how many people we're going to share that with and tell, holy cow, did you see what happened at Smash Fund? This is the place to be. So we haven't even begun to see momentum. We just all got on the website and started pre-boarding 8 days ago. And 8 or 9 days ago, and it's been a whirlwind since. We've had thousands of people get involved in this, and we could not be more excited. So with that, my friends, I'm going to tell you that I think it's time for you to make a decision. All you need to do is just share this with a few of your friends, and what I would encourage you to do is get with the person that actually shared this with you and say, hey, I want my invitation code, and can I get in tonight? You should try to get in, reserve your spot, and then share this over and over. We're going to be doing another call like this again on Monday, and we're going to be doing probably 2 or 3 a week. So whatever you need, there's websites that are available, smashfund.com. Get with the person that brought you to this call, and let's go share this with the world, because this is going to go around the world, and you really don't want to miss it. You'll never have a chance to be one of the first people involved in this. And so I highly encourage you to do it. And with that, we thank you. And I just want to say good night to everybody, and God bless you.